Welcome back to Colorado and Company. I want to talk about something serious here. Our community is facing a growing mental health crisis, especially among kids. And in today's installment of Taking Inventory, I spoke with 3 local leaders about the challenges families are facing and the resources available for helping our kids across Colorado. Take a look. All right, Lorez, I'm going to start with you. Caring for Denver provides funding to so many organizations that focus on Colorado's kids. And I want to ask you why you think it's so important to focus mental health on the youth specifically.
Yeah, it's so important because kids aren't just small adults. They experience the world in such a different way. And this is really about supporting them at their life stage. You know, if you think about kids, they're navigating school stress. They're navigating social media.
Sorry, that's my sound.
No, it's true. It's they're navigating identity.
Yeah.
The world itself. Climate, violence, and family pressures. And all of that plays a toll on their mental health. And so by investing in organizations that really meet young people where they are, so that they can be entrusted in safe spaces, makes a huge difference. And it's really important to recognize we're not just investing in the young person right now and helping them in the now, but we're investing in their healthy, thriving adult that they can become.
That's amazing, in their future. I remember when I went to school, no social media, no climate change. I mean, it was so much easier. And I can't imagine no school shootings. I mean, it's totally different. Elliott, Platform is a trusted space for many high schoolers, which was rough for me. Tell me more about what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So Platform is an amazing organization, and they have a art contingency for teens called Art Lab, where they partner with professional artists in the community. And it's really a safe space that they can build community and seek that identity formation. And my role is a contract therapist with them. And
that's awesome.
Any intern that is a part of the program is able to reach out to me to schedule individual counseling at any point in time. And then in addition, I'm able to lead monthly wellness workshops with them, which is really helpful in meeting them where they're at because they are able to build a relationship with me.
Yeah, with trust. Too.
Yeah, and that kind of breaks down the stigma of being able to reach out for help when you need to.
Yeah, and you got tattoos, you're cool, you know what I mean? I also want to just say we need to bring arts back into our education system. I think that's huge. Haley, the mission of Girls Inc., which I love, is to inspire all girls to be strong, smart, bold, which I feel like I was lucky enough to be I grew up with that. I was raised that way. Mental health is such a big part of that. What kind of programs do you have for the youth?
Yeah, so Girls Inc. of Metro Denver provides out-of-school time programming for girls from first grade to college.
Oh, wow.
So we are with girls providing programming in the areas of leadership, mentorship, and then we weave social emotional learning and mental health throughout that. So
Beautiful.
Including individual, group therapy, as well as some things that are a little bit more outside of the box. For example, we have a camp this summer called Control the Scroll. So it's all around how do we help some of our teens?
Can I go?
Right, me too.
Yeah.
How do we help our teens understand how to take care of their well-being when it comes to their social media use, their digital device? We're really trying to help girls develop and really nurture those in-person healthy relationships. But we know screen time is a real thing as well. And so how do they have the literacy and the tools to really make that a more healthy balance?
Amazing. First off, I love the leadership aspect because I think girls should be in government at the top levels. Sorry, but I also want to say that my anxiety and depression, I say 65% of it comes from social media. Or 75, it's really, really, really bad. Okay, so I want to get to Lorez again. I think our viewers would be surprised that kids as young of 12, I was surprised, have reported using drugs and alcohol within the last 30 days. And I know a lot of parents just are like, what do I do? How do I turn, who do I go to? So how do you work with that?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing to remember is a lot of times when kids that age are using drugs or alcohol, it's not usually about the drugs or alcohol.
Right.
What it's really about is they're hurting.
They're coping.
They're coping.
Yeah.
They've experienced some kind of trauma and haven't gotten the healthy coping strategies. So it's really important for parents to remember, reach out.
Yeah.
That is the right thing to do, not to approach this alone. We fund many organizations, and you can find them on our websites, things like the crisis text line. So that's where they can dial 741-741, the word Denver, and be speaking or texting live.
That's huge.
With a person. We fund recovery-based schools. We focus on youth-specific treatment, on peer support. So all of these programs that can meet parents and youth in the moment to really help them address this.
That's amazing. So the word for you right now is resources. If you think you're alone, you're absolutely not. What's the website? I just want to make
Caringfordenver.org.
Okay, remember that for anyone going through that. And also, if you don't know your kids doing drugs or alcohol, talk to them, ask them, be like, if you know, that was important in my family as well. Okay. Elliot, anxiety. My favorite friend that I have and suffer from. It's a huge issue for teens in today's world, which we've talked about why. Why do you think specifically it is so strong right now? Is it the social media? Is it the pressure to succeed? Is it isolation? Because some people are talking and they're on their phone to the other person. You know, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, part of adolescence is an anxious process.
Yeah,
in
right.
terms of figuring out who you are, what your values are, building important relationships.
The hierarchy.
Yeah. And right now what we're noticing is that in this digital era, there's so much noise that accompanies it. So it's no longer, oh, am I going to make a social blunder in front of my friends? It's, is it going to be filmed and posted? And who's going to see it?
Right.
And so this idea of, am I going to be canceled like the comment section on the internet is prevalent in the real world. And so building that literacy skill of how do I set boundaries? What does my social media feed look like? How do I step away and go touch grass?
Totally.
Is a really important skill that needs to be taught now and can't just be implied.
I think that's so important to start young because I'm old and I don't know that. So I'm really appreciative of that. Haley, for a lot of parents, their kids seem fine on the surface. They go to school. Like I was talking before on the camera, they are highly functional, right? But I want to know about the quieter symptoms. I think this is fascinating. What can you say?
Yeah, our team does a lot of regular engagement with parents and caregivers, and the things that they share with our families is to really look for some of those signs around 4 key areas. Is it cognitive, behavioral, physical, or emotional changes that you're seeing with your child? And some of them might be normal on their own, but if you're seeing them kind of across that spectrum, it might be time to have a conversation. So it might be that they're starting to kind of isolate or pull back from some of those really strong relationships they normally have. Physical changes like, especially with girls, our team sees stomach aches, headaches, eating changes. Is your sleep changing? Sleep habits, either awake a lot or sleeping and fatigued a lot. So that might be time to, like you said, to check in, to have a conversation with your kiddo and understand, hey, I'm noticing these things. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah.
And really opening up that conversation about additional resources.
Yeah.
You know, you have a lot on your plate. Is there something that we can do to make sure you have someone to talk to about this?
Yeah.
You know, as a parent, I don't need to be, too much in your face.
Right.
Even though I'm here to support, do you want to have someone else that you can talk to about this as well and providing those resources?
And I think also when you have that talk, I know my parents would take me on a walk. And it makes it more casual instead of being like, we're sitting down to talk about your anxiety, like things like that really helped. But having them notice was the biggest thing, right? Like, I don't know how to say this. I don't have the vocabulary, but you do. So these conversations are overwhelming for these kids. Like I was saying, I want to end things on a high note, which is hope. You know what I mean? What gives you hope right now when it comes to the next generation? And if you can make this like one sentence, Lorez, I want to start with you. What gives you hope?
There's a couple things that give me hope. It's the youth that show up for one another.
Nice.
It's the way they're leading into healing. It's organizations like Platform and Girls Inc. That are standing with youth and really helping them feel seen and understood. And it's the way our city has invested in youth mental health to really, it's gonna have an impact for decades.
I agree.
And those things make me proud.
Yeah, breaking that stigma is huge. What do you think, Elliot?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this generation has normalized conversations around mental health.
I agree.
That for me growing up, just didn't exist.
I agree.
And we didn't know how to have these conversations, and it seems like the younger generation is being taught more socio-emotional skills. They're being given more language, and they're actually engaging with it and talking to each other about sensory needs, getting overwhelmed, needing to set a boundary, and it's just much more casual.
I agree. It becomes part of the conversation like it's not. And that's what breaking the stigma does, right? We talk about that. What do you think, Haley?
I completely agree. And I think for me, what gives me so much hope and encouragement is seeing the friendships and the relationships with the girls at Girls Inc. Those in-person nurturing relationships, we see this, sisterhood and the way that they support one another and they stand by and stand up for one another and really support, I think is just so encouraging to see.
My best friend from kindergarten just called me just now. And it's like so important to have her support because I've been going through a hard time, and to have her there is so vital. Well, I will tell you what gives me hope and encouragement is you three, your organizations. I so thank you for being here. Mental health is a big part of my life, and I appreciate you helping me break that stigma. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. If you or a young person you know is struggling, you can text the crisis text line. Just text the word Denver to 741-741 to reach a live volunteer crisis counselor. Plus, if you want more information on these incredible organizations helping the youth in our community, go to the websites listed on your screen. You can also find full segments of InvenTORY anytime on our Colorado and Company YouTube page if you need some extra help. We'll be right back.